Today we're going back over to our motorhome business in Stourbridge, and what I thought would be interesting is if we meet up with Keith. Keith's our buyer. He predominantly does the bulk of the buying of used motorhomes, and then the process that Keith goes through.
So we identify the paint damage on the bumper and on the bonnet. We check the date on the tyres and the tread on the tyres. These decals are faded, and then the trims here are peeling. And then we've got a crack on the bumper here. So this has got some damage where the bumper's actually cracked. They are quite thin, so that's had an impact. We move on to the inside, where we actually identified some damp with this one. So there was damp going through to the toilet floor. On investigation, we think it was the toilet cassette that was leaking, so we ripped all that out, and then obviously we replace all the contaminated insulation, and the wood will all have to come out and be replaced. So generally, as the winter approaches, you want to drain down the van, leave all the taps open, leave all the doors open so air gets to everything, close everything on the outside. It's good to get air circulating over the winter, so open the door, leave all these doors open, leave your fabrics free to air over the winter months. Other than that, the van is really, really clean and tidy. The customer's obviously done his best to look after the van, but things like that are hidden to the naked eye, and you don't get those until you put a damp meter on them. And that's why a habitation check is most important. Generally, if you book it into us for a habitation check, it's a 3-hour check. When I come out to purchase the vehicle, it's more like 30 minutes, just a quick damp check really. But the full habitation check is 3 hours if you come to the workshop and have that done professionally. If I go out to a customer's premises, then I'll show them where I've damp checked, I'll show them any issues, I'll report my findings to them. And it may be that, you know, we have to renegotiate the price at that point, because obviously there's work for us to do, labour involved in us putting the motorhome right. Once we've got it back to the workshop, for us to sell it again, it has to be NCC approved, which is National Caravan Council approved. For us to sell it again, it has to pass our damp check. We wouldn't sell a van without it passing our damp check. So today we're off to Mid Wales, just to view a motorhome that we've been asked to buy. Sorry. If you just leave the paperwork on the side there, then I'll go around it and do a visual inspection first. If you could open all the lockers. So this is the form we fill in. It's kind of our AWS check sheet. So it's all workshop approved. So on that tyre there is some cracking in the tyre wall. You just see, so there's some perishing. The tyre's just starting to crack. So that's something we check for. Do you know when it was the last habitation checked at all? And you had it about 2000, the year 2000. I'll just explain my damp meter to you. Okay, so it's called a protometer. Yeah. It works on a touch sensor, so that detects moisture basically. So I'll just use the touch sensor, and that will tell me if there's any moisture in the van at all. It's also it's part of the job, that part of the process that we have to do. So it's basically just checking the areas for damp. Skylights would be a point where water ingress can get in. Or windows, around windows. 17%. Anything above 15% is cause for concern. It's very minor in that corner. On the oven. Looks good. And then we just check the floor. Some hard to reach places. Areas to check in the bathroom are obviously the sink. We check for any cracks. So we're getting some high readings in this wall. So again, we'd need to do further investigation here. It may be the window that's leaking. So behind there, the wall's quite soft to the touch. So that would indicate the water's leaking from above down that wall. These brackets here are where there's an awning fixes from the outside. So it may be that the awning needs taking off and resealing. It's actually mouldy. and then I check the blinds, etc. See, there's a bit of mould on the net. Normally our valeters can clean those. Just need to check the garage area. See, the garage floor is quite soft. Just need to get in to check the other side. It's not very flattering, this job, is it? Both sides of the garage floor are showing signs here. The back wall is fine. It is normally the garage door seals that go, so water will settle into the floor. Yeah, I'll just make a note of those on the report. So I'll just let them know what I found. Oh yeah, you all right?
Yeah, good, Dad.
So I have found a few areas of damp, unfortunately. So as I said to you, I used the damp meter to go around it. So there's signs of damp on the bathroom wall, and then in the garage, both corners of the garage are showing 99%. It's mainly the seals that go. They're such big doors, and they flex around all the time, don't they, when you're driving? I mean, we'd still buy it because we can put all this work right. So at this stage, I'd need to get some quotes before. Obviously, I can't give you the money we've talked about already with the problems I've found. And there's no obligation. I'll give you a ring with some figures and we'll go from there. All right, nice to meet you both. All right, thank you. I've explained to the customers we'll get back and I'll get a rough idea of a quote from our workshop and what's involved in putting the van right before we progress. And I'll get back to them with a revised estimate once we get an idea of cost involved to AEG Motorhomes. And then we head home.